Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Strappin' Blade. You can call me Mike. Today we're going to take a look. Well, this is just first impressions. I was in review mode. I've been reviewing some Sen cuts, and I was in review mode. This is just first impressions. So, is this shake? Stop the camera from shaking. Okay. The Taggedout from Benchmade. Some people don't like this. Uh, some people think it's overpriced. This is $231, $230.99, $231 Canadian. I bought this from House of Knives. I'll leave a link to House of Knives in the description of this video if you want to take a look at one of these or anything else that they have in stock. Yeah, you can find that in the description. So what you're looking at here is, let's do some quick measurements. 3.5-inch blade, roughly. 4 3/4 inch handle, roughly. Handle thickness 0.46 inches. Blade thickness 0.08 inches. Let's switch it over to millimeters. I find millimeters are easier to comprehend than when you get into like the tenths and the hundredths and thousandths of an inch. So I like to do the blade stock in millimeters. It's also because I'm Canadian and we do things weird up here. So it's 2 millimeters thick at the thickest part of the blade. Down near the tip, you've got 0.8 millimeters. Oh, that's not even on camera. Sorry, guys. 0.8, 0.9 roughly, and it's 0. Oh, let's just go back a little bit here. There, 0.04 inches thick near the tip. This is a very thin, very slicey blade. I am very impressed with how slicey this is. Of course it's slicey. Look how thin it is. But you gotta be careful because this is a dainty tip. This would probably snap very easily. But frig, this is slicey. Let's get a weight on this. My kitchen scale here. I'm gonna have to invest in a more knifey looking scale because this looks like I could be measuring out chicken breast or drugs. So let's see here. 2 ounces. Holy crap. I knew it was light, but off. I knew it was light. But 2 ounces? Holy crap. So that weight mostly comes from the fact that it has gravity scales. I think that's why people don't like this. The gravity scales. It's basically plastic. And I wouldn't say it's cheap plastic, but you know, compared to other materials, it's cheap plastic. But can you see? You can see some of the weight relief that's in there. They put triangles in there because you know how strong triangles are. Physics. Is that physics? But triangles are strong. So, yeah. So they put a bunch of triangles in there. There's literally, you can't really see because of the angles, but there's literally triangles everywhere in here. So it's very thin. But because they put an extra, I didn't have a bug out. I've never tried a bug out yet. But I'm pretty sure this is an extra backspacer. Or barrel spacer, I should say. So it doesn't flex. That adds a lot of strength to it. It does not flex. Because there's no liners in here other than the liners associated with the axis lock. So this is a very, very light knife. It's a very slicey knife. It's a very orange knife. You've got black hardware and orange barrel spacers. So, yeah. Funky dunky. I was excited for the knife when I first ordered it, and I was immediately going to buy some scales for this to replace the gravity, because everyone's like, that's cheap plastic, I don't like that. So I was like, I better replace that because I'm going to hate it. Well, to be honest with you, I don't hate it. It's fine. I don't hate it at all. I do not want to attempt taking this apart, because most of the time when I take knives apart, I messed them up. So I'm going to just leave it alone and not modify it. And yeah, I don't mind the gravery. I don't mind the fact it's orange. I don't have any orange knives in my collection right now. Well, I guess I do. This one. But yeah, it's really not that bad. I don't know, like $231. This is made in the US. I don't really feel like that's too much of a price tag for this. I mean, have you seen the price of cheese lately? It's like $10 for a block of cheese up here. So $231 for this really doesn't seem like that much. I will say, however, I expected there to be 20 CV blade steel on this. I don't know why. I didn't know that it was 154 cm. CPM 154. CPM, that's different than 154 cm. My bad. I misspoke. But yes, it's CPM 154. Which combined with Benchmade's heat treat, which I'm pretty sure, to my knowledge, Benchmade does a pretty good job with their heat treats. I'm sure this is going to be fine. But I was expecting 20 CV. However, for the price, maybe it should be 20 CV. But I'm perfectly happy with the materials used here. So, yeah. I like the clip. This is, I think, the first time I experienced this short deep carry pocket clip. I actually really like this clip. It's cute. It's a nice clip. It works well. Even though it's landing right on this like textured spot, it doesn't stick in the pocket or anything. Is there like a reset? No. Sometimes companies, oh my goodness, it's so shaky. I apologize if it's super shaky. Sometimes companies like flatten out a little space on the, this textured area, but it's not really, I don't think it's textured enough to warrant doing that, but it slides in and out of the pocket fairly easy anyway. Let's see here, what else do I want to talk about? That's about it, as far as like technical things go. My experience with it so far, the action, fidgeting with this knife is really fun. However, my index finger, hello, I'm Michael's index finger, it sometimes gets stuck, like it's in the way. Like sometimes I'm pressing against the axis lock with it. So when I go to reverse flick it, the axis lock is like pressing against my finger and it's not letting the blade come out fully. So it's just a learning curve. I don't think I've ever had an axis lock combined with a hole before. So it's just a little trickier. Normally I'm holding it like this and I'm flicking with a thumb stud when I have an axis lock. But this is a little differently. This is reverse flick. So what I have to do is just put my finger down, make sure it's lower than the pivot, because then I'll be sure that it's lower than the axis lock, and then it works fine. Because at first I was like, man, this is weird. Why isn't it working? And then I was like, well, I could just go hickey-dicky-dicky and flick it out, Hey, come on. Flicky-dicky. I could just flicky-dicky it, right? But then I got used to where my finger was. And then I realized it was my finger messing it up. And I figured out where to stick my finger. And it didn't cause any issues. One thing I will say, I don't know why I have an accent. It just snuck in there. Sorry. One thing I will say though, there is some blade play. Just a very minimal amount of blade play. There was a bit more than this when I got it, just a slight bit more. I tightened the pivot a bit, so the action's not as drop shuddy. It's still drop shuddy, but it wasn't as drop shuddy as it was when I first got it. But it's still like this is a good compromise. A little less blade play, but also a decent action. A pretty good action, especially considering it's axis lock. So it's at a good spot right now. However, this pivot, holy smokes, I've never experienced a more sensitive pivot. If I were to take my Torx bit and turn this ever so slightly to the right, it would become so tight that I could not even move the blade with my hands. It was crazy. I tried adjusting it, playing with it, and it was extremely extremely sensitive. I've never experienced that with the pivot. That's not a good thing or a bad thing. That's just my experience, and I felt like saying it because this is my video and I can say what I want. But as far as like actually using this as a knife goes, not just a fidget toy, but as a knife, holy crap, this thing is slicey. I mentioned that before in the video, but I couldn't, like, I'm just blown away. Every time I go to use this, it just blows me away. So, over the weekend, I work, I don't know if you guys know this or not, I've mentioned this before, but I work in a paint store. It's like a family-owned paint store, my family-owned paint store, and we also sell blinds. So there's one particular, like this weekend, I went to help install a blind, and we had to open the box. And you know those like plastic, like those thin plastic ties that go around, they just kind of like glue them or like stick them together. It's just like you see them randomly on boxes. It's just they're really thin plastic, but they're tough. I don't know. There's a word for them. I can't think of it. It's not a zip tie, but it's, you know, anyways, you probably know what I mean. This, I didn't even have to, like, this, I just pulled the knife out and they just fell apart. Like, I didn't even have to put any pressure on them. I just went like this and it just slid through them effortlessly. I have never experienced this slicey of a knife. At least not in a very long time, and I've forgotten it. But I cannot remember slicing through things this easily. It slices like crazy. I was thinking of just doing a review on this, carrying it for a bit, doing a review on it, and selling it. But this is actually an excellent knife for my work, because cutting through cardboard boxes, and that's the thing. Like once I got through those little plastic ties, to cut open the box, like I had to be careful not to cut the blind, because this was like everything was open. I couldn't believe it. It sliced through cardboard like nothing. The cardboard might as well have been a little piece of paper. It just cut right through it. There's like real heavy duty tape wrapped, multiple layers of tape wrapped through this. I just put the belly on the tape and just ran it around the box, cut it open. At home the other night, we needed a new package of paper towel brought out. I put it on the paper towel because the paper towel, you know how things are environmentally friendly these days? Well, from Costco, you can get paper towels individually wrapped. So they're paper towels, rolls of paper towels in plastic wrap that are all in one big plastic wrap. So anyway, so you don't just open up the bag of paper towel rolls, you open up the bag of paper towel rolls and then take out the paper towel roll, and then you cut the plastic around that paper towel roll, and then you finally got into your paper towel. Well, this cut through the plastic and multiple layers of the paper towel. It's a laser beam. It's a freaking laser beam. I just can't I can't get over it. I absolutely love this knife. It just works so well. And the fact that it's orange, like it stands out. Like when I whip this out at work, people would probably notice it. But whereas orange, it kind of looks like a box cutter. So I know it's for hunting purposes. I do not hunt. So this is not going to be slicing open any Bambis. But this is, you know, it does kind of look like a box cutter. Other than this, you know, kind of aggressive looking clip point. Aggressive to maybe non-knife people. But anyways, this is a rambly video. Holy crap. I've been here 16 minutes. So yeah, I gotta say, I am loving this knife so far. I was just getting it to check it out. When I got it, I liked it, but I wasn't like in love with it, and I figured I'd sell it after I did a review. But I may still sell it, but I'm considering keeping this around. This is actually a nice knife. I know the Grivery isn't the greatest material out there for handles. Amongst the knife enthusiasts, it's not great, but it works. It's lightweight. It's strong. Like, there might be a little bit of flex down here, but very minimal. And it just, I don't know, the knife works. So I'm happy with it. But before I take up any more of your time, I think I'll end the video here. I'll leave a link to House of Knives website, and I'll probably leave it directly to the Taggedout on their website. So hit up the link, check them out. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Take care.